Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Kwaku, and if you've been with me for a while now, you'll know that I'm always looking for the next big thing. And by the next big thing, I'm really more so talking about the next big interface, the next big design, the next big feature for pretty much whatever the platform is, and in this channel specifically for pretty much what Microsoft makes. What's the next big feature or next big product? Now, you've seen the title, and you know that in this video I'm talking specifically about HoloLens. Now, HoloLens intrigued me all of a sudden, and this backstory was I was just laying in bed and I had so much ideas that, you know, about the next big thing to come from Microsoft, and that's where it came from. It's a pretty blank story. So way back during CES about a month ago, I talked about the future of interfacing with two products, and you'll probably see that pop up on the screen. And that got me thinking about HoloLens. Now, we haven't heard too much big news with HoloLens for a while. I know they do have a HoloLens Summit or something like that going on soon. So hopefully I can hear something about it from there, what they have for plans in the future. Maybe towards Build, we'll see more about mixed reality. But from mixed reality and HoloLens, we haven't really heard much about the product. We haven't heard about any enhancements that they're having. We haven't heard about HoloLens 2 or HoloLens 3 or anything HoloLens 2 Plus, whatever they decide to call it. We haven't heard about the next generation of it. So the first thing I wanted to discuss is what exactly is HoloLens, Microsoft HoloLens? Now, Microsoft HoloLens is a VR, not really VR, it's a mixed reality headset or augmented reality headset, which is essentially like me having these glasses on. I put on the headset like my glasses, only it goes over my head, and basically it allows me to see, let's say, the computer monitor in my spatial view right here, or some information here and things like that. I can talk to people, I can do a bunch of stuff because it has a bunch of cameras and sensors around it. And that's essentially what it is in a nutshell. It's an augmented / mixed reality environmental headset. Microsoft calls it mixed reality, but it's pretty much augmented reality, like you can get on phones and stuff. Now, just like the Kinect sensor that Microsoft had and I have downstairs, it does a lot of things, and it can sense spatial awareness, has like a whole bunch of features in it, and I'll get into that in a deeper in this video. So first thing is, what is the main use of this device currently? Now, I wrote down some notes here, and the main use of this device currently is in the business space as well as the workspace, like the industrial workplace, military, things like that. They use that to communicate with I want to say comrades, but they use that to communicate with coworkers and associates when they're working on a design. Let's say I go into this old telephone right here, it has all the circuits inside of it. The lights are kind of making it hard to see. But essentially, if I was designing this telephone here, maybe I don't know where to place a product. Maybe I'm on the assembly line and I'm trying to figure out where to place a product or to research a new product. And so I can talk to somebody, I can point it out, just be like this area right here, and the person could literally just like draw with their mouse on like a Surface device, be like, oh no, you have to just insert this module into this specific place to get it to work. So that's a feature that you can do with it, and it's really nice. They have a lot of built-in things because obviously it runs a version of Windows 10 of its own accord. But that's essentially the summary of what exactly it is and how you use it, or the main use of it currently. I saw an app in the Microsoft store from Genesis, the car dealer, and the car company, the luxury car company from Hyundai, and they have an app in there. I guess it's for dealerships that they can put on their headset and visualize their Genesis coming together, so they can customize it and see it in person without having to go outside or go actually sit in it. So for whatever reason that you would actually use that feature, that's a way that you can do it. I've heard things like in the fashion space, like in the clothing stores, let's say you want to put it on and you want to visualize yourself putting on a piece of clothing. You could do that, perhaps putting it on and looking in a mirror, and you could see yourself put on the piece of clothing. And because it has all these sensors in it, it could sense your time of flight, it could sense depth, it can sense spatial awareness and everything to know exactly where you are in space. Now, looking at the sensors, I'm just going to go briefly, quickly in, and right here in front of me, I have the specs here, which you'll see on the screen. They're old specs, I'll tell you that right now, because I'm looking at Bluetooth 5 here. I'm going to start with compute and connectivity. It runs a Qualcomm Snapdragon 850 compute platform, so it's not exactly an 850, but it's a specialized chipset from Qualcomm. It runs the HPU. It runs a second generation custom built holographic processing unit, which is what HPU stands for, holographic processing unit. It runs only 4 gigabytes of LPDDR4X RAM, and then it also has 64 gigs of storage, which is UFS 2.1, and it's Wi-Fi 5, which is about Wi-Fi AC. It's good, it's really good, but now we have Wi-Fi 6, which is AX. Bluetooth 5, like I said, we have higher Bluetooth specs now. And then it runs USB Type-C. I don't know what kind exactly, what spec it is exactly, but I'm hoping that in HoloLens 3 we'll get Thunderbolt 3 instead, or maybe even Thunderbolt 4. But I heard Thunderbolt 4 is reserved for Intel systems currently, and this being Qualcomm, we won't get it right away. It fits glasses pretty well, so me wearing glasses, it fits me. It would fit me instead of like the VR headsets. When you put it on, your glasses kind of fog up and then you can't see because you breathe, and then it just kind of is not good. It has 5 microphones. It's got speakers for built-in spatial sound that kind of helps with the ambiance and the environmental approach. Windows Hello. It's got iris recognition. It says here voice command and control on device, so you can just talk natively with internet connectivity, and you can use your voice to just say open up this thing. Eye tracking, so it's got real eye tracking. So say I'm looking at the camera's button right there, the shutter, I could look at it and maybe I can just blink, and maybe if it had a function in it, it could tell like, hey, he wants to turn off the camera recording. It's got hand tracking, so 2 fully articulated model direct manipulation, so you can literally just reach and grab and turn things and things like that, and it'll work perfectly fine. The sensors, this is the most important part here. It says it's got 4 visible light cameras. It's got eye tracking, which is 2 IR cameras, is what I said with the IR. The depth, it has 1 megapixel time of flight depth sensor, and then it's got an accelerometer, gyroscope, magnetometer, and then it's got 8 megapixel camera, as well as it shoots 1080p 30. I'm hoping that one of these days we'll get it to go up to 4K. Maybe 4K 30 is fine. I don't really need 4K 60. You're not going to do a movie on this headset. This is just for quality, image quality. And then for the display, it says you see through holographic lenses. It says resolution is 2K 3x2 light engines. The holographic density is greater than 2.5K radians, light points per radian. I don't know what all of that stuff means, unfortunately. And then eye-based rendering, the display optimization for 3D eye position, so that it can do that for your display. Now, going back in to what I wanted to say with this whole thing, HoloLens / mixed reality, why I believe that this could be a potential major contender for the next generation of, or the future of interfacing. Now, like I said, you know me, if you've seen this channel long enough, since last April, or even before that, way back in the early days on the old channel, you know me, I always like to see the freshest thing. I like to see what's cutting edge, even if there's not a whole point to it. I bought the Leap Motion device, and then Leap, they published my video on their website back when they were a Kickstarter company, before they were bought by HP, and then released after that. I bought the Leap Motion for that reason. I bought the Oculus Rift S, even though I hardly use it too much, because I wanted to see what the next generation of interfacing would be, which is, in my opinion, still not going to be this, but this will probably replace this little tablet iPad here. Eventually will replace a laptop, I have a feeling. So we have that, and the reason why I said this was because part of the problem with VR, virtual reality, is essentially virtual reality is immersive reality. You put it on, you're in a whole different world. Augmented reality is mixed reality, because it mixes virtual elements, such as your display popping up in front of you, with the real reality we live in, which is just walking around in every day. So when I like, the reason why I think mixed reality, and especially with the case with HoloLens, could be something that we could see for the future, is just because you put it on. Right now it's bulky and thick and stuff, but you can imagine it going to the size of this glasses right here. Now, I saw an application where they were saying motorcycle riders, I wanted to say cyclists, they could essentially put on something like the HoloLens, put it on them. Instead of putting on a whole biker helmet, they could have maybe a HoloLens built into the biker helmet visor and the helmet itself. And so when they're riding around, rather than having the speed controls and stuff all in front of them right here, they could essentially have all of it just through their visor. And so you put it on, it's already hooked into the bicycle somehow, maybe Bluetooth, maybe some future technology, and you can just see your speed and everything you need to know, such as your speed limit. You could see pedestrians coming up. You could see, like Google Maps does, police ahead or whatever it is. You could see all of that. That would be pretty dope. I'm really interested in that kind of thing. Now, the other part with it too would be, imagine that you were just at home. I am sitting right here, and I remember trying on the Oculus Rift S for the first time, and this was my first time using good virtual reality. My immediate use case in my head was, what if I put my computer, instead of having a screen like this monitor in front of me here, what if I just have virtual screens here and here, or maybe 3 of them? I can have a 70-inch screen in front of me. What if I can just do that? And that's a thing you can exactly do with it. There's apps out there right now. I don't remember what it's called. I just saw the video. Someone released it. That you can have your desktop essentially right in front of you on it. I don't know how good the frames would be, but that's something that I'm really looking forward to with mixed reality. You know, in my brain here, taking over as a major interface contender for the future. I'm just really interested in this whole thing. As you can tell, I'm kind of going on, but I feel like in the future, we're going to be, rather than us being kind of locked into just these tablets here, or these laptops that is like in front of me here, or even, you know, these phones right here, I feel like in the future, I'm not saying everybody's going to want to wear glasses and have interfaces projected in front of them, but we're going to have something where you'll have an option, where rather than buying this Samsung phone here, you'll rather have something like my glasses on, and you'll be able to choose whether or not you want these to be the next HoloLens type device, or you want to just use a regular phone. Maybe your phone will fold so small that it just fits anywhere, and you'll just have those 2 things, and that's it. So I'm really curious, what do you guys think about this whole thing, HoloLens 2, mixed reality, the future of interfacing? I just want to say one thing though. I am planning on eventually getting HoloLens. Whether they release HoloLens 3 before then or 2, who knows, but I am planning on getting the HoloLens hopefully by summertime. And then I also have some products that I'm planning on getting. I covered them during CES briefly, but I'm actually planning on picking those 2 up as well. So all in conjunction together, there'll be a lot of interesting things coming from the channel. Stay tuned, everybody. And again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about all that was said here. Do you have a HoloLens? Are you a HoloLens developer, mixed reality developer? I really need to hear from you guys, because when I do get it, I need to create a list of things that I want to cover. And if you guys are already developing things for the HoloLens, I can add that stuff to my list and cover those later on in the channel. So stay tuned for all of that, and take care, everybody.